It's brand new, it's tiny, and it's a lot of fun. Hey there, I'm John. This is Two Brothers RC, and this is the FMS Beaver 800mm. FMS asked me if I wanted to fly it, and I wasn't sure, to tell you the truth. I know you guys like bigger airplanes, and I don't like to post stuff that I know you guys might not care about. But this FPV system they sent over made me curious, so I decided to fly it and asked them to send it over. But I don't have any experience in FPV, nor do I have any interest in making a metric system for it or small planes at the moment, so we're returning to our original format of live voiceover and live talking, so you can cringe along with me as I explain everything in real time. But in my rush to get this vid filmed last year for the FMS deadline, I forgot to do a live intro, so let's cover the basics. I'm flying with this Beaver using the FMS video system. This is actually a pretty neat system, but I do wish it was brighter and had less interference. The Beaver itself is a pretty basic airplane. It's 800mm wide, it doesn't have flaps, it's got ailerons and a rudder and elevator, and it's powered by a 2-cell LiPo battery. And it can be charged at the field if you bring a charger like our Spektrum S2200. There's two versions of the plane, a ready-to-fly version and a plug-and-play version where you install your own receiver. Let's move on to the flying.
That's not half bad for my first FPV landing, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're sitting here on this bench and I'm going to be doing most of my flying from this thing with the original FMS control sticks, which in my opinion are way too short and have no tension at all, but this is still good for beginners to learn with and whatnot. It's got all these 3 different positions you can work with. So when you throw this thing down to the bottom, it's basically like safe mode in Spektrum if you're used to that, where the plane will auto level itself and will prevent it from going out of control. You can turn the gyro off completely, or you can leave it in stabilized mode, which is what I'm doing most of my flying in. If you zoom in over here, you can see the janky setup that we're currently using, which is pointing my GoPro at the screen. Let's move that out of the way. So you can see the screen and, oh look, it's me.
Good intro for you guys to, see how we used to make content, and also to see a genuine, authentic experience with no cutting, or minimal cutting at least. Here we go. And I'm literally flying only from FPV, just by looking at a screen with a GoPro in my way. This is my second time doing this, and it's so freaking cool. There's a bit of a wind right now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in safe style mode, so the plane has bank limits. I have the stick fully right. It won't let me move any more than this, so there are bank angle limits I can't really get in trouble with, not that I would. As long as I don't hit a tree. So we're gonna go ahead and climb a bit. Let's get some altitude, see what the environment looks like. Go full throttle, get some climbing here. Oh, I see it all over there. Had to look at the plane to see where it actually was. Climb a little bit more. And there we go. So we can actually look at the environment around us here. We're flying at the Holly Springs Skyhawks field. And I just got hit by the GPS fence, so it's not letting me fly any further, which is what that sharp turn was. That's actually a really cool feature about this too. You can't fly this plane outside of a limited box, so it's not going to let you over control it or get out of reception. But I can actually see the whole park that we're flying at here for the Holly Springs Skyhawks field. Get a really good view. Let's go ahead and bring it down lower, get out of stabilized mode, fly it around, get below tree height, do some zooming around down here, put it back in stabilized mode again, and it auto levels itself. And it's trying to, whoa, get away from those trees. Trying to get a little geofenced on me here, which is not something I really personally care for because I want to be able to explore. But for you newer pilots who are afraid of flying outside of your comfort level, where you get a little too far from the plane because it goes too fast, you don't have much to worry about with this one. It's a pretty easy experience. It's very simple to fly. There's not much else you can really say about it other than it just works. You plug it in and it goes, and it does what you need it to do. This is a strong departure from our usual review style because I'm not really reviewing this. I am making a product demo, so I'm not even pretending to be impartial. This is just me having fun, flying around in real time. No voiceover John here at all. I'm not using my normal voice, and that transmitter beeping is getting really annoying. I probably should figure out how to change that. But in terms of this vid, aside from a couple of cutouts here and there from the video quality, I'd say this thing it's pretty top notch. I'm not entirely sure what the price is because I haven't researched that yet, but knowing FMS, it's not going to be unaffordable. Should be relatively within everybody's budget to fly this little bugger. And if you're new to FPV and you get sick when you fly goggles like I kind of do sometimes, you might find that this is a very good option to fly because you have the ability with which to not have to worry about getting sick. And it's kind of nice to go invert it too, and it's got plenty of roll authority, so you can look at this screen, and as long as you don't get motion sickness from looking at a screen, you should be able to do whatever you want. Let's go do a little bit of aerobatics with it. So let's go up, a little higher, straight vertical, throw it into a hammerhead, get closer to the ground, and let's try this, do some slow rolls. That's really cool. It's very responsive. Not as fast as I would expect the roll rate to be for a plane that I'd set up personally myself, but for an out-of-the-box experience, this is really cool. Still getting over a bit of a cough too, so pardon the coughing, or getting over my sickness from a month ago, so pardon the coughing. But the way this thing handles is really good. I don't even have to use full throttle most of the time to keep it in the air, which is surprising because some other FMS planes do feel a little underpowered. This one feels like it's got plenty of authority to do anything I need it to do. It handles quite well in the sky. Let's go ahead and put it into full manual mode and see how that feels. No stabilization in this at all. It does get kicked around a bit by turbulence, but because it's an airplane that's nose heavy, it does have some positive stability. I'm gonna throw it back into gyro mode where it's just kind of correcting for turbulence. And I'm not noticing any real difference in how it handled, to be dead honest with you. It feels really, really similar. So it's not like you need a gyro to fly this. And, ooh, wonder what knife edge looks like from this perspective. Let's get some throttle. Oh, snap. A little too close to the ground there. I didn't hit the ground, did I?
Nope.
Okay, I think I am running out of battery power though, so we're gonna go ahead and plop it. I did flip.
Very ploppy.
But that's okay. Let's go grab the plane and find out what happened. This little camera is super cool too. This thing just has a 1-cell battery, and it just gets put in place with this latching system right here, and it just pops into the plane, locks on, and slides in place. And that's really easy to do. All you got to do is plug the cable into it to get power to run the camera. The plane itself, this little Beaver, we actually have the big version of the Beaver, the FMS 2000mm, and that thing handles really well. But something I like about this one is, unlike the Horizon Hobby UMX line, and this is something I would consider to be UMX if Horizon had released it, this doesn't use linear servos. This uses plastic servos. So these can actually be moved by hand, unlike the servos. Like if I unplug the power, you can actually do that. Check this out. So unplugged it. I can actually move the rudder and see how it needs to be adjusted, or if it needs any any checking done to it or whatnot, where the linear servos tend to be a bit more finicky, and you definitely can't move them because they're worm screwed. So that's one of the other advantages I like about this plane over the UMX line from Horizon. Now, granted, the AS3X system, the stability that it comes with is a bit better. We're gonna put it on the ground, let it initialize. So to get this thing turned on for you new pilots, you press and hold this button right here. That turns it on. You do need to have 4 AA batteries to run that. This will then start to figure out that it's existing in the world rather than just being unpowered and chilling out there. There it goes. So now it found the GPS signal. Now it is booting up internally and should be operating any moment. So I got the aileron control. I'm just waiting for the elevator to kick in. Any second now. There it goes. Now it's initialized. So once it does the servo dance, it is ready to go. All you have to do then at that point is just cover the battery hatch, plug it in place, and in stabilized mode here, you can see, like if you watch the control surfaces, you will see as I give it left, or from your perspective, right roll, this aileron goes down to push the wing up, that one goes up to push that wing down, so it will fight the inputs. You can't really see it too much with this gyro that it's using because it's not as effective as it could otherwise be. You might see it in the tail or the rudder maybe. It might be more obvious if I have you shoot in from the top. You can see it kind of
doing its best to stabilize against what it thinks is turbulence right now. So for you newer pilots, this is actually a pretty solid plane to fly. I had no problems flying it, and I hate flying with short sticks like this. These are way too short for me and how I like to fly, but I didn't feel like it was unprecise in the sky at all. In fact, it handled really well, so nothing to complain about here for me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and plug in this FPV system, turn this on, turn my GoPro on, move that out of the way. We're gonna plug in the camera here and just get these two leads going together. And we're gonna do one last flight with it on the FPV setup, on the original setup. Then I'll walk you guys through the plug and play Spektrum setup that I'm gonna run later on. All right, so here we are. Takeoff roll, initiate it. Let's go ahead and throttle up smooth, keep some back elevator, all the way to full, and get up in the air. I'm gonna focus on aerobatics this time around, so we're gonna go do some slow rolls. This is really capable as a bush plane, but bush planes tend to be very capable in general, which is one of the reasons why I like them so much. I'm actually shocked at how well this thing handles as an out-of-the-box experience. Like, I'm giving it full rudder. Oh, getting too close to the ground. Go full throttle. First-person aerobatics are fun, man. This is actually really cool. I wish the screen wouldn't get so jittery sometimes, but I mean, for a beginner's FPV system, I think some of this is to be expected. Let's go ahead and do a little bit more slow rolling. I wish I could show you my stick inputs and show you the screen at the same time, but I do not have enough GoPros to do that. So we're going to stick with the screen input for now so that you can hear me voice over and get an experience of what this plane's like. We're going to go ahead and bank down, get a little lower here at Sug Farm. And by the way, the Holly Springs Skyhawks, if you guys are in North Carolina, really good club run by some really good people. So if you are local and you want to learn how to fly a plane like this, come swing by and say hi to them. They will absolutely adore having you hang out with them. All right, let's see if I can see. There we are. You can see my wife on camera. Whee! Quick tumble. You can actually hear the propeller eating its own prop wash too. That's really cool. Quick knife edge, so I can get it to turn back around at knife edge. Oop, there we go. Not half bad. Again, this is my first time doing aerobatics and FPV, and I don't want to run the battery down like I did last time, so you do need to be cautious when you're flying. Like, if you're doing a lot of mid-throttle and you're doing a lot of flying like I am, don't be afraid to land a little earlier, because I did land at low voltage cutoff. I currently have the battery on my charger in front of me while I'm working on this, so I'm getting it back up to the correct voltage. But there is no telemetry, there is no timer, so I don't know what the battery level is at any point. But, you know, through some relatively decent, you know, thinking, you can come up with the idea that, like, hey, maybe I'm running the battery down too low. But this is just super cool. I've always wanted FPV. I've had people beg me to fly FPV, to do aerobatics and show them what it looks like. Here you go. But unfortunately, it's not my F-22 or anything else that's a bit more technically complex than this. But not everything has to be. Sometimes it can just be fun. The only thing that I don't like about this system while I'm talking about it is that it's got too much of a fisheye effect, and I would actually prefer that it would be a little bit more linear and zoom, so that I would not have to worry so much about, like, the ground coming at me suddenly. That's kind of what I feel when I'm flying it. But let's go ahead and land it real quick. Let's see, where's my wife? There she is. Oh, let's go away. That was fun.
You're at 4 minutes.
All right. So we're going to bring it in to land. She gave me the 4-minute warning. I think it'd probably be smart, especially with the throttle usage I've been using, to bring it in now. So let's go ahead and land on our approach. Not a half bad landing, I'd say. That was pretty cool. All right, so we just wrapped up the ready to fly section of this video. Generally speaking, and for you newer pilots who are interested in the ready to fly segment of this, I had no problems getting this thing up, and literally took me like friggin' 15 minutes. Charged the battery, throw the AA's into the transmitter that they provide with it, connect the camera to the system, and go flying. I mean, you can't ask for much more simple than that. And remarkably, this thing is actually very capable. I had it doing knife edge and like flying sideways in first person. It was a little wonky feeling. I think it's going to be a bit more locked in when I switch to the plug-and-play segment coming up with the Spektrum AS3X Plus system. So what we're going to do is we're going to run an AS3X receiver in here. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this wing off, which is really simple to do. You just undo the two wing struts here, and then from there, you take the wing key on top, pop that out, put it in your pocket. Just a reminder too, if you are flying aggressively like I was in this video, make sure that you don't try to go above 4 minutes, like set your phone timer or something if you're ready to fly. Otherwise, you will get low voltage cutoff where you go to full throttle and it still gives you nothing. So we're going to go ahead and cut here. We're going to switch over to the plug and play, and next time you see us here in a couple of seconds, it will be with the new Spektrum receiver installed. All right, so we're back day 2. This time around, I took out the brains of the plane, so the receiver, and also took out the GPS module, which is right here. And then I went ahead and installed a Spektrum AR631 receiver along with an Avian ESC, because the receiver in the ready-to-fly airplane is also the ESC for it. And for those of you who are newer pilots, the ESC is what translates the battery's power into usable power for the motor. So as you look inside here, we've got an AR631 Spektrum receiver connected to an Avian 15 amp ESC that is the perfect size and weight for this thing. This gives me telemetry out of the box, so we're not going to get what we had last time, where I don't know what my voltage is and I crash land the plane because I didn't, I'm just having fun flying it, and oh, there goes my battery, it's dead. So that's not going to happen this time, thankfully. I'm also using Spektrum AS3X Plus technology to keep this thing stable in the wind, and it is a little windier than it should be today. I was told that it would not be windy, but yet here we are. Thanks a lot, Wonderground. Let's go ahead and put it back together. So if you haven't seen us do that, pretty much it's a very simple process. Just plug the wing into the top, push that there, grab the key out of your pocket to key the wing in place, slide that in, twist it, and then take these wing struts, slide them into the channels here, pull, take the wing strut, slide it into the channel, pull, and there you go. Assuming it survives today, it's going to be one of the airplanes mounted to the wall behind my head in the intro segments to our normal voiceover videos. So I hope you guys like this throwback style. It's kind of cool to do this again, although we'll see what you guys think. Let's start it. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into the flying segment. I've got the Beaver in my hand. I've got the 850 milliamp FMS Predator battery to plug into it. Just pop it in place, slam the battery in as far back as it'll go, and then put the adapter on top of it, place it on the ground, and let's let it initialize. There we go, 2 cells. Let's do it. So you can hear that I've got telemetry. 8.38 volts. And we're going to go ahead and fly it with the full 150 travel that I'm usually used to working with. And let's go ahead and power her up and get going. Oh, that feels way more locked in and easier to control than the RTF setup did.
20 seconds.
Oh, so it's a little easier to fly when you're not looking at a screen. Oh, that looks so good in the air. And it flies really nice for being a tiny little baby Beaver.
30 seconds.
So for you guys who are flying with the ready-to-fly setup, I would say, hey, probably not a bad thing to do. It'll get you introduced to flying, and this is actually a pretty easy plane to fly.
7.63 volts.
And we still got plenty of power to work with, too. And I'll have constant call-outs every 30 seconds telling me about that. But if you're flying ready to fly, you'll get a good experience of how the plane handles. But if you really wanted to push it to the next level, you can fly it like this and be able to do easier loops and rolls with better stability. I mean, this is like similar to wind to what we were flying with the last time we brought it out, except that the plane is handling it better because AS3X Plus is a top-tier stabilization system. I mean, very easy to fly in this configuration. You're not going to be doing rolling Harriers with a Beaver unless you have full span ailerons, so you're not going to be doing any crazy stuff. But you can do all sorts of maneuvers that are fun, easy to do. Slow flight. Hell, you can even turn off the gain. So we're flying gainless right now, so it's a little bit more twitchy feeling. but it still feels pretty locked in because it is still a nose-heavy plane.
0.56 volts.
So basically what we're getting out of the stability is better locked-in rolls like this. So when it stops between each point, it comes to a snap, which is what I really like with a plane. I prefer it to come to a dead stop instantly. I don't really care much for it when it kind of keeps rolling a little bit afterward. I want it to be locked in place the second I let go of the stick. So here we go. See that snap? That's all personal preference. I mean, it all comes down to how you want to fly. Overall, it's pretty easy to control. I mean, this is pretty much, I would say, almost a great intro to beginner flying. It doesn't have any really bad tendencies or anything. It's very easy to control, very easy to maneuver with. If you have a good idea of how to fly, or if you want to learn how to fly, it's equally challenging. I mean, I'm having fun with it, and I fly stuff like F-22s all the time. So, I mean, this to me is a good little plane for learning, good for a plane for flying in your backyard, even if you got a good size backyard for that kind of thing. Should have no problem with it.
7.44 volts.
Still plenty of power to work with. We have to worry when we get down to 7 volts under load.
3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys can see I don't really have to talk this plane up too much. I mean, what you see is what you get. Trying to keep it lower because we don't have a whole lot of clouds today. Toward the end of the vid, of course, I will explain what the AS3X Plus gains are as well. For those of you guys who want to use AS3X, you'll have that opportunity. But let's go ahead and give the gentleman behind us a chance to fly. So I'm going to go ahead and get down. We'll practice a landing real quick, or not even practice, we'll just settle it down. And the winds are kicking up too, which is going to make it interesting. So what I'm going to do is throw the gains to full to keep it nice and stable as we bring it in.
7.56 volts.
And there you go. Simple as that. All right, taking it back off of the FPV system for a little bit. It's kind of fun just to fly first person, and we're just going to throw it in safe and see what happens. And what happens is it flies pretty darn good. Yeah, I really like how this plane handles. It feels like a UMX plane from Horizon,
20 seconds.
but it handles like a little bit bigger of a plane. And the ability to use 150 travel on the servos instead of being locked to the UMX style interface is awesome. And yeah, I mean, you can do all this stuff with the UMX plane for sure. But I don't know, man, this is a lot of fun. I like it. Not doo-dooing on anybody. I just, this is why I switched away from doing live voiceover, because I just run my mouth. I'm really good at doing that, and I need to stop.
1 minute.
I love doing these slow rolling circles like this. As long as you got some thrust applied when you're doing it and pushing through, the plane's not going to stall and crash. Yeah, this feels really good with the AS3X Plus. Like, it feels really good. I think after this flight, we'll show you guys the gains in real time. Let's see if it'll hover. We haven't tried that yet. Nope, not enough thrust. Maybe it would have done it at the beginning of the flight if I had a little bit more power, or if I put a 3-cell pack in here instead of a 2-cell pack, but let's not destroy the motor, yeah? Handles pretty good in knife edge flight too. There's a little bit of coupling that I gotta pull the elevator to avoid, but I don't mind that too much. It's when I have to push the elevator that I dislike it.
2 minutes.
Yeah, this is gonna be really good wall art as long as I don't blank it into the ground today. Let's see if it'll flat spin a little bit better now that I'm not in FPV. Whoa, you gotta time that right. So hold the stick, full rudder. There we go. Whoa, what the heck was that? That's what it was doing when I was doing FPV, wasn't it, dear?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was not the crazy amount of roll that or spin that I anticipated giving it. Let's see what happens when I do that again. Let's get a little higher and spend all of our battery climbing. Awesome! So you gotta give it some counter input because it actually gets into an aerodynamic spin where it will intensify and get quite violent. So if you're not used to doing flat spins, maybe just don't do it. God, I love doing those point-to-point rolls. I used to be really bad at doing this. I'm not even great at it now, but it's one of those things that, like, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So it's just really about, oh, battery. We're gonna push this battery a little bit further. We'll land when it gets to 7 volts since there's nobody waiting to fly right now. Let's do some slow flight with it. We really haven't showed that either. So let's go ahead and bring it in a little closer. Let back on the throttle a bit. I bet I can grab it. You think I can grab it?
You should probably not lose a finger today.
I don't think I'll lose a finger, especially if I chop throttle. It should have an ESC brake, so...
4 minutes.
Me right above my head. If I could only hover it, I would grab it out of the air. I think if I grab it any other way, I might damage the plane. So let's not do what we did with the Avios Cobus glider. Yeah, this thing flies really good, man. We could probably slip this in over the house in FPV. That might be where I destroy it, though.
Over the shot?
Let's see how it handles slips, actually.
6.9 volts.
Okay, so now we're at 6.9 volts. Nice. Let's go ahead and peg the rudder. Here we are slipping it. Oh, that actually handles it pretty well, man.
You could do it.
7.53 volts.
Yeah. Do I like it? Yeah, let me turn the announcer lady down here on my radio. If you didn't know, you can actually use the knob on a Spektrum radio to control volume, which is nice because that way she's not going to constantly talk. We got 4 minutes and 52 seconds out of that. We landed at 7.46 volts per cell, which with 2 cells is definitely around storage voltage, so nothing to worry about there. This thing handles great. Center of gravity is on the leading edge of the wing, so very nose heavy, easy to fly. Plenty of great features in this thing. It looks awesome. Shame I couldn't get it to torque roll and hover in front of me so I could grab it out of the air, TBRC style, but I mean, it's got good servos in it. I mean, you can tell that it flies great. I mean, I'm not even really pushing the absolute limits of what this thing can do. I think I'd want a bigger field for that just because even though it's small, it eats up this airspace very quickly. So if you are a newer pilot, you should be aware of that. Find something maybe a little bit bigger than this field. This is the Holly Springs Skyhawks field. So like if you guys come out to, or if you're even local in North Carolina, these guys will actually teach you how to fly with a plane very similar to this one. And this one, I mean, you could easily make this your first plane if you don't know anything about flying, as long as you fly it in the self-stabilized mode, or in the case of Spektrum safe mode, throw it into that and it automatically levels everything out, just like the RTF system did as well. So, I mean, overall handling, it's great. It does aerobatics. It does really amazing flat spins. I was pretty impressed with that. Most of the time, these little foam planes can't do that. I don't think I've even gotten maybe the only one I've ever gotten to do was like the UMX Timber X would do it too, but most of them don't do it very well. They nose down severely. That thing flattened out. It was crazy how good it was. But overall, no, definitely worth looking into. Check it out. Links in the description below. Again, we're not a product pushing channel. We're not trying to get you to buy stuff. We just want you to see what these things can do. We're just making a departure from our usual review format because I don't have enough experience in FPV, much less FPV screens, to really write a review system for it. And for me to be genuine with you guys and show you the actual experience and what you're getting and how it's handled in real time, I figured it would just be best to give you the actual first experience of an FPV product with us. So I hope you don't mind the format change. We are going back to voiceover after this, but some of you guys who've been with us since the start, and I know there's quite a few of you still watching,
This is how we used to do everything. I just prefer the written style where I talk and have more chance to like think about what I'm saying and doing, but it's the same content. I still tell you what I think either way. The Spektrum Airware, we're gonna go to model adjust, we're gonna go to forward programming, and we're gonna look at the AS3X gains in real time for you guys. So gyro settings, whoop, that's other settings. Gyro settings, AS3X settings, AS3X gains, 38% roll, 70% pitch, 25% yaw. We're gonna back out, we are at 1x gain. Priority is 140 on all axes, which is default. No heading. And stop lock rate is 50, so the plane tends to stop nicely when I let go of the sticks, which makes it look really nice. And it's not throttle based, it's just based on my slider in the back, so I can turn them all the way up. So this little switch right here, or I can turn them all the way down to 0. So that's how I adjust them in the sky. And basically, that's pretty much everything there is to it. There's no other special setup. It's a very easy plane to fly. I think anybody who wants to get into flying, especially for a backyard flyer, newer pilot, or somebody who just wants a beaver, is going to have a lot of fun. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Links in the description below if you want one for yourself, and we'll see you guys next time.
That was a lot of video, and I think you can see why I prefer the voiceover style to this older format. It just isn't how I work anymore, or even how I think. But hey, hope you enjoyed anyhow. Huge thanks goes out to our channel members on twobrosrc.com/supporters, and a very special thanks goes out to our mega fans, Sarasota RC Squadron, Michael Smith, JR Man, Todd, N411X, and Jeff Baker, along with our ultra fan, TBRC fan. You guys kick so much ass. Coming up soon will be the video everyone wants to see, 10 mods you can do to your plane, including a brand new technique to get a 7th free channel on your Spektrum receiver. Yes, it's legit and I've been using it for quite a while now. See you guys next week.